and then we'll be good. No worries. So.
Well, what have you been able to gather just in terms of personnel-wise? Because I'm sure it's been a lot of indoor practices so far a little bit. So just what have you been able to gather just position battles you've got?
You know, the month of January for us actually has been really well. This week is the first week where we've just had consecutive rain and we've had to be outside, or have been inside. The other weeks we've been outside and we've gotten a lot accomplished. You can see that this team is ready to go. They're tired of practicing. They don't want to hear about practice anymore. They just want to play. You can see things are starting to shape up as far as where different athletes will be. Lineup we're still working on, but we're starting to see some things set in. One thing that's great is that we are a very healthy team. We've got great depth. They've really come together as a unit, and it's time to go to Mexico.
Who stood out the most so far in this off-season training leading into the Puerto Vallarta tournament going into that next week?
Oh, that's kind of a tough one because I feel like there's been many. I think about Ariel. She's stood out a ton because she's worked a ton on her swing this fall and needed to shorten it up a little bit, and then you can see the work that she's put in this fall. You can see it right now. The ball looks about this big for her. She's done well on defense as well at first, at third base. I think you might even see her in the outfield. So I really like how she's shaped up from the fall to the spring.
I know a lot of you guys said a couple weeks ago that you might not be sure the rest of the country about what Oregon is, and then preseason polls come out and you find yourself right back in the top 25 yet again. I mean, is that just kind of a testament to the brand that this program has sort of built over the years, or do you think you guys are maybe still getting shortchanged a little bit there?
Sure, no. I mean, you think of Oregon and you think of big-time softball. So I think people see and trust that we're going to be back to where we need to be. I think I think they're paying attention to our athletes and they're seeing what our lineup's going to look like and that we're going to compete this year. You know, we have depth on the mound, we have a strong lineup and tough defense. So I think they're recognizing that.
A couple weeks away here, or really a week away here, have you kind of figured out what that rotation is going to look like from a pitching standpoint?
Not quite. Right. Honestly, right now, all four could start, no question, and I would expect that. And then from there, I think as we get into games, we'll start to see a little bit more of who works well together as far as somebody starting, and then if that person was needing a little relief, who would be the best one to come in and give a different look. But what I like right now is that they could all start. I expect they could all come in and relieve each other, and they could come in and close. So I feel very good about our staff. I don't think of it as like a one-man show at all. I think of it as four collectively that's going to allow us to do the things we need to do this season, because it's going to be a grueling season, and we need to have a staff. I think that's a big importance for us.
You made determinations in the first and third rotation with Rachel and Maya, and you mentioned Ariel as well. So.
I think you'll see those guys. You know, right now too, I would tell you it's going to be early in the season, and this gives us an opportunity to move them around a little bit and see what options that we have. I think you'll see Rachel at third a ton. I think you'll see Ariel there. I think Ariel's one that you might see her in a couple different spots. Maya's been great for us at first. She does extremely well with her defense, and she's been swinging the bat really well. So all three of them can swing, and I think you'll see these guys in the lineup. It's just exactly where they're going to be.
Is left still a competition, or you mentioned Hannah a week or 2 weeks ago now? Is she separated, or Lexi, Deja, is anybody still competing there?
There's still some competition. I would tell you Lexi has been swinging the bat extremely well. She's been playing great defense in the outfield. So we definitely have depth in the outfield, and I think you might see a couple different people there, and then from there see who solidifies it.
Logistically, what's the difference between a preseason tournament and somewhere like Arizona and having to go internationally? Everybody got their passports up to date?
Yes. I feel like we've been working on those passports for a long time, but passports are up to date. We've got one final piece of paperwork to fill out. I know they're excited just to get to Mexico. I think it's supposed to be in the 80s there. Actually, the other day we were in our indoor because we were inside, and we turned the heat up in our indoor a little bit just so they could get a feel of what it's going to feel like there versus here. So
as you built this or rebuilt this roster, how much were you able to cater the incoming players to what your vision of this program would be, and how much of it was just, the best available players you could get and fashion what you could from the best talent you could bring? And what was that mix sorted out?
I think it was a good mix. One thing that I was pretty excited about, you think of our transfers that came in, they're coming into something that maybe at the time when they were committing wasn't quite exactly where we need to be, but we're moving forward. And what excites me about all of them is that they see our vision. They see our vision and they want to be a part of it. And with that, I think the transition of them coming in, it's been easy. Our freshman class, they see the vision. We didn't quite get everything we wanted last year, but they see it and that it's in place and that what's going to happen this year. And I think for them to do that, it just allowed us as a team to unite. I think these are all great athletes that are going to be difference makers for us. And I think we're going to be able to do things that we want to do right away.
Mentally, how different is being a week away from the season for you this year than last year? Because like last year, I know you guys were really looking to get on the field just because it had been such a long slog of an off season. Now this time it seems that there's a lot more of an excitement of we want to get on the field because we're ready for what's to come.
Definitely. It's a big difference. Last year we were trying to piece things together. We were holding a tryout at this time, trying to get a couple more athletes on our team. This whole month of January, we have been strategizing and preparing and getting our offensive plans to be on point, getting our defensive plans on point, really getting our pitchers to understand how they want to set up hitters. Last year we were just trying to have enough, I would say, to put on the field. So it's been different and it's been exciting. We had a practice a couple weeks ago. We had a night practice, and it was pretty cool because we were going through everything, and then all of a sudden, I think it was almost kind of like the first time they really got to see what we look like together and what we're capable of. And I think that practice ignited them to really put in their time and to be their best with the practices that have followed. So I'm anxious and excited. I'm not stressed. I'm relaxed. I'm ready to go. I think they would tell you the same thing. To me, preparation is key. And if you're prepared, then you go into it and let's see what happens. And I think we're prepared.
You mentioned the batting order still coming together. How much of it will be somewhat similar role-wise and order-wise to last year, where obviously Rachel was high in the order, Haley led off a lot, Allie was up there. But you added Tara and Amaya to it in particular, and where do they fit? And players who were probably getting a lot of at-bats last year ahead of schedule are now going to probably be a little bit lower in the lineup. Is it going to be similar, or is it just totally shaken up again?
I think you'll see some similarities and some differences. I think you'll see Haley in that top spot. She's done a great job there. Allie, I liked her in the 2. From there, 3, 4, 5, you could see Tara, Rachel, you could see an Ariel and Maya. There's options. I mean, last year I would turn my lineup in and it was pretty much the same. This year we've got more depth. So I think you'll definitely see a lot more power through the lineup. So those ones that can swing, you'll see them in the middle. And then from there on the bottom, I think it'll just kind of depend. We're still sorting out a couple things, but I think some of the ones from last year where they were at, I think you would see them in the same spots.
How much is Tara chomping at the bit to get back, especially given what a issue last year was for her too, with getting her waiver blocked?
Yeah, she's excited. She's ready to go. I mean, this team right now would look at me and be like, Coach, we're over it about practice. We don't care. We want to play. And I think she's the same thing. She's just ready to play. I know this fall, her first at bat, she hit a bomb this fall. So I think it just kind of said, I'm ready. I've been waiting. I think she's done a really good job of being a leader on this team and rallying the troops. I think her and the rest of the team are excited for her and her opportunity to just get to play and not having to worry about trying to play and being eligible.
You mentioned those tryouts last year. You still have a couple of those late additions on your roster this year.
Yeah.
What have you told them just about their role on this team now that you have more of an expanded roster?
With them, what they did for us last year was tremendous, and they're a huge part of our team. And so with this year, they're on our team. They're doing the same thing. There's nothing different for them versus other people. They're on our team, and they're fighting for roles just like or for playing time just like everybody else is. But I can tell you, I think of Caitlin and how much she's improved at the plate and her power numbers and what she's doing. Think of Annalisa and her ability behind the plate as a catcher and how much she's improved. So some of these guys, they got on our team and they were thrown into the fire, and it was a lot on them last year. But I think you're going to see those guys and the others that are returning, they get to reap the harvest. That's what I think about. All of them get to reap the harvest this year.
You speak to Shay's not only natural leadership, a lot of catchers are natural leaders, but there were points last year she was playing through stuff that not a lot of, I believe there was at least a broken bone of some kind there. Again, you didn't have a choice, but at the same time, she had a choice if she didn't want to play through that. I suppose so you can just speak to just her mentality that she brings to this team.
I think Shay is just mentally tough. She is a tough athlete. She got banged up last year, and she's an athlete that figured out how she could play through it, and she did. She's another one that I'm really excited to see and what she's going to do this year. You'll definitely see her behind the plate. If I was an opponent, I would question whether I want to send my runners or not on her. You could definitely see her at first. You could even see her in the outfield. I think you'll see with Shay, she's really worked hard on her craft this year. Her power numbers, I think you'll see increase. I think you see her average increase. And with her, I think growth, has there been physical growth? Absolutely, but I think her mental growth has been even more. She is definitely a leader for this team. I don't know, I think she probably sees things different now as a junior than maybe she did last year as a sophomore, which is great. So our young athletes go to her. I think she's one that's voice of reason. She's going to keep us moving in the right direction.